Hello, everybody. I'm Roadblock. We are on the free-to-play account, and I'm going to do what I said. I was just talking to chat. I'm live right now, and I couldn't remember what it was I said I was going to do tonight, and then I was just talking to chat, and then it came to me. So I know I said I was going to build Gnut, and then I've got his masteries. So let me look up. Now I do need Gnut to have accuracy as well, but I don't know kind of what they're. So let's see. Fire Knight hard. Okay, yeah. So it's pretty much the same. If we go to the masteries, it's either. Okay, so Master Hexer extends the weaken, or extend the length of time of the counterattack. Okay, I see what they're going with. All right, I kind of agree with their assessment. So always going to go 5% crit rate. Definitely going to crit damage. We'll hopefully be at full HP quite a bit. Life Drinker's good. And so this is the first kind of deviation that... What's this? No, I don't think that's worth it. So for Clan Boss, yeah, because we're not going to do enough damage to Clan Boss in one hit. So by 6% with... Yeah, that's great. Great ability there. Kill streak, and then we're going to come down here for Giant Slayer because he has a multi-hitter on the A1. I realize I am not explaining my decision, right? So we have crit rate by 5%, crit damage. Right here, increases damage inflicted by 5% when attacking with full HP. We would hope to be at full HP most of the time, so that's going to increase the damage that we do. Life Drinker does heal us a little bit at times, which is good to have, especially when you're considering Clan Boss, but really there's just not that many other great talents here. Increases damage inflicted to targets with less than 40% HP by 8%. So again, increasing our damage output. What I like about Bring It Down, now I am looking at like Hell Hades as kind of a guide here. What I like about Bring It Down versus Cycle of Violence has a 30% chance of decreasing the cooldown of a random skill by one turn if the damage inflicted by a skill exceeds 30% of the target's max HP. Now, if we're using him in Clan Boss, he's never going to do 30% of the target's maximum HP. So I like Bring It Down better, which just gives us a passive damage increase against targets with higher max HP. Then we have Methodical, increases damage inflicted by this champion's default skill by 2% each time it's used, up to 10%. We want him using that A1 quite a bit. He will with counterattacks as well, so we'll get stacks off of that. Increases damage inflicted by 6% in the arena and 3% in all other locations. That's the part that matters. Stacks across each round in a battle up to 12%. And then I already explained Giant Slayer. So then I do want him to have accuracy because I am going to be using him for his turn meter control. So again, accuracy here as well. Let me come back here. Accuracy for each enemy alive. I like, so again, I'm going with a suggested build here, but I like every part of it. 5% chance of decreasing the cooldown of a random skill by 1 at the start of every turn. So just a random, like just a flat 5% chance that I could get to my A3 faster. That's very good. Base stats improvements here. I like this because we're going to be giving our new more stats, more power, right? More speed, all of those things. Now, this is kind of the part where it's like, well, what do I go with? So we have Lasting Gifts, which will extend his counterattack buff, or we can extend the weaken that he would place because this won't extend any freezes that he does, right? Oh, and the decreased attack as well. So Master Hexer is what I would go with. because he does bring a decreased attack if he lands it. I would love to have that to be extended, right? So those are my thought processes behind the mastery choices. There are probably better routes to go, but I do agree with pretty much everything from the recommended build. I went with the Clan Boss build off of Hell 80s. Now there's a Fire Knight build, and that one revolves a little bit more. That one has you going Cycle of Violence, and then also going with Arcane Celerity, which is increasing the turn meter. But I kind of like this build. I think this is a better all-around build, and we are going to be using Gnut and Clan Boss because while we have good options, he's just a better option in my opinion. I want to test that. So that's kind of what I've been talking about for a while, is that we're all about testing here, right? Okay, so now we need to get him built. Now, I always like to start with the gloves. And the reason I like to start with the gloves is because I kind of find out right out the gate, can we go with any crit damage gloves? Now, in a perfect world, I would have, what would be a perfect piece? I always like to start with what would be a perfect piece when I'm building a champion, right? So we have crit damage gloves with a crit rate substat, and then we would have accuracy on it because Gnut needs accuracy. Defense percent because he's defense percent based. Okay. So no, we don't have any pieces that have both accuracy and defense percent. What about just accuracy? So we've got 10% into crit rate. That's a great start. There is some attack percent on this, and then accuracy and speed. Now this one, they're both 5 stars. If I take that off and I go defense percentage, no roll on the crit rate there. A double roll on the crit rate here. Let's take this to 16 and see what happens. Maybe we get a lucky accuracy at the bottom. We get an attack at the bottom. Okay. I just want to take this to 12 just to see. And we go double into the defense percent. Okay. I do like the speed on that, though. We have... So, 1 accuracy, 1 crit rate. This, I know that this would be better on a different champion in the future. What if I avoid crit rate and go defense accuracy? I'm not as happy about either of those. So we had crit, and none of these were 6-star, which is what I would really like. So 10% and accuracy. That has a bunch of accuracy, but very little crit rate. I really like getting a big chunk of crit rate if possible. And then this one of these had a lot of crit rate, right? Yeah, 17% crit rate. And a defense percent. We'll get accuracy elsewhere. I'm okay with this piece. I want to go with this piece. Now, I'm realizing now I don't have... Oh, shoot, I was in the right menu. I always forget it's right there. All right, crit damage with crit rate and defense percent. We'll try those on. There we go. Okay. What passive skill would you be voting for May Fusion? I haven't looked at the passives yet that they've offered. Did they come out? Are they? Is it votable right now? Because I can. Well, I'll worry about it in a second. Sorry, I'm also recording. I can't. I'm recording right now. This is gonna be my video for tonight. So let's focus. Sorry. Okay. Cool. We got that. We're at 37% crit rate. 125% crit damage already. That's looking really nice. Now, primary stats, defense percent chests. All right, we've got a fair bit of them. How many with crit rate and crit damage? None. Let's look for some crit rate then. And then I would also want accuracy maybe some speed. No speed. Okay. I gotta be careful. I can't keep avoiding speed, but I do think this is kind of the better route. And I like that this is a 6-star piece that has accuracy and crit rate. Let's go ahead and take this up to 16. And speed. Let's go. Very happy about that. All right. I like this piece a lot. One, it's a 6-star piece, so I'm getting a ton of defense for a defense-based champion, which is going to improve his survivability and his damage output, right? And then we're also getting a ton of crit rate. We're getting 17% more crit rate, which is just getting us closer to that cap, which gives us more wiggle room from other areas. We had accuracy on it. We had a flat defense on it, which is still pretty good. Not great, right? But still okay. And I love the fact that we got a speed roll on the end. So very happy about that. So we're definitely locking that in. You'll see we're already at 54% crit rate. So we're looking really, really good. Would I love to have a piece that had crit rate and crit damage? Absolutely. But I'm okay just choosing crit rate in this instance. Okay. So for the boots, primary stat speed. And do I have any with crit rate and crit damage? Oh, that's... There we go. All right. I do. I want to be... What about crit rate, crit damage, and accuracy? There we go. Okay. And a defense substat roll and a roll into crit rate. We're getting really good early rolls here. So we're already at 70% crit rate. We only need 30% more. Looking really good to start. Okay. I'm not ignoring chat, guys. I'm just recording right now to get started on the night. I want to knock this recording out. So I will answer all your questions here in a second. Okay. Let's take the primary off, and let's just focus on the top 3 now. So perfect items. Let's look for those. Crit rate, crit damage, accuracy, and defense percent. Doesn't exist. There we go. Oh, I remember. I freed this piece up yesterday, didn't I? Right? Didn't I take this off of somebody? Or is it a different piece? I'm starting to remember. So we moved some Killstroke gear yesterday. It was this one because it had the huge accuracy, the defense percent, the HP, and a small amount of crit rate. Okay. So 14, no, not 14, 24% more crit rate, and we're starting to run out of room here. All right, let's take off shield because I do want to use that shield. I would love to make a Killstroke work, but I don't have enough room. Well, let's try weapon. Let's try a weapon first here. So the substats with crit rate, crit damage, accuracy, and speed. Let's take you to 12. I just don't see me getting, unless I get a trip roll into crit rate, I don't see myself getting enough. So these are both the same amount of crit rate. Let's see. That one's got speed. This one has more accuracy. I think I'm going to hit the accuracy goals I need, or at least early on. So I think speed would be a little bit better right now. All right. We'll go with that frenzy. So 86% crit rate. Yeah, I don't think I'll be able to complete the set, unfortunately. But we do have a lot of base defense, which is good. Really quickly, let's take a look at ring options. Okay. So we only need to get to 95% crit rate because I'm going to get an extra... I'm using this neck. Well, shoot. There's a better crit damage one. What's this? I was hoping it'd be accuracy. Okay. This is really good. Crit damage, 6 stars, and I'm going to get bonus substat rolls and accuracy on it. I have to use this amulet. Now, I can't currently equip it because he's not fully ascended, but this is what would be put on him. Therefore, I won't be using this and getting that extra 5%. So I really need to focus on the helmet here and getting extra crit rate out of it. Okay. So let's do priority stats, crit rate, high, and then hide filters. So this helmet gives me the most crit rate. It gives me 14, which would be exactly enough. And a little bit of crit damage. And then everything else goes down from here. So... Alright, let's first try and make sure we have... Let's try and see if there's a perfect piece out there. So that one probably won't do it. Yeah, because 9% is not going to cut it. Take this to 12. 10% won't cut it. I think we're looking for a double roll on crit rate on one of these pieces, and we're not getting it. Okay. So now we take off the accuracy. Are any of these pieces capable of rolling up to potentially being something better? I don't think so. So I think that's the piece. And there we go. 100% crit rate, 147% crit damage, 119 accuracy before accuracy banner. It is a little low, but I don't think... With the masteries I picked and everything, I think we're going to be fine. So let's equip those. Let's go ahead and ascend Gnut. And get him fully geared out too. So we would want a defense ring with defense percent, and HP percent is great as well. So definitely equipping that. Then we want crit damage, which we already said. Now, if these were both 5 stars, I would have gone for this one, which would have given me more wiggle room on the helmet, right? But because this one was a legendary piece, so as you saw, I got a few extra substats, right? And the accuracy roll. If I didn't have a helmet that would have completed, like let's say all my helmets were only 10% instead of one that gave me 14%, like this particular helmet did do, then I probably would have been forced to use this one or rework rest of my gear. But 6-star crit damage is more than 5-star crit damage, right? So that is why ultimately I went with that particular piece. And then the last part of it, we are going to go with an accuracy banner. And this one does have a defense substat, so we're going to take this to 12 and see what we get. It went all into attack percent, so I like this one better. Actually, I don't. So I think this one's better. Because it still has... It sucks that it went all into attack percent, because it doesn't help me at all. But it still gives me more defense than this one. This one gives me more HP, though. Do I want the HP? The same amount of accuracy, right? Yeah, I actually do like the more HP, so we'll go with that. Okay. Let me take my filters off, because I'm being told I have... Thank you for pointing that out. All right. All right, so final stats. Slow. Pretty slow. 164 speed. 100% crit rate. Only 187% crit damage. But 238 accuracy. I'm very happy with the accuracy output that we got. Now, what would I like to do to improve this down the line? Now, keep in mind, I've got a lot of champions in use right now and not really enough gear to go around. I also haven't built a lot of gear, so there's many different factors kind of go into this. You'll see 221% crit damage for Seer, right, versus my Gnut, who's doing only 187% crit damage. Let me just double check something. Yeah. Let's see, that's where the 6-star gloves really come into play, right? 80% versus 65%. That's a lot. Let me just double check that I don't have better crit damage gloves equipped. And do I want to take the ones off of Seer? Is the big question. Ooh. These ones must not have any crit rate on them. Yeah. Those will be pretty good. Possibly for somebody else. But I would lose too much crit rate if I was to swap to these ones right now, and I would have to redo the whole build. So, while I do think these are probably better on Gnut, and I would love to eventually get them onto him, we're getting pretty long in the video at this point. So, I don't really want to make that change, because you'll see I'm losing 6% crit rate. So, I'm going to have to make up that crit rate somewhere else. Probably in the shield. I'm really pushing it, making the shield work, right? You'd love to see one that had more crit rate, but it's bringing a lot of accuracy and a pre-roll on defense and a roll into HP. So, like, it's giving me a lot of good regular stats, but I'm giving up a crit rate because it didn't get any crit rate rolls. So, I'm kind of suffering for that. And then I am losing... There's no crit damage on the chest here. So... It's definitely a build that I can fix and improve later. Man, you also get more speed out of these too. This is why the fitting room is so nice, because let's experiment here. I like Seer. I am using her quite a bit now that I have her built. However, I think Gnut is more important to the account. So I need 6 more crit rate, and I'm going to assume it needs to come from my shield, because that's the weakest part right now of the kit. Why is it not showing me anything? There we go. It was just broken. So definitely want crit rate. Let's do... I don't really need it to be a priority, but it has to have it. Speed, accuracy, and defense percent. Okay. What do we got here? Okay. But I would still... Oh, so I need at least one roll. I'm going to take this to 16. I got a little bit of silver right now. Hey, there you go. Only gets me to 98% crit rate. But it's giving me a lot of speed. I'm losing quite a big chunk of accuracy, but I'm gaining a ton of crit damage. But is 98% too low? I don't know. Tricky, tricky, tricky here. And this isn't even the piece I just took off either. But that one doesn't work at all. Okay, let's take off... I want to keep... I got to keep accuracy on it. Yeah. So that's too much. That would get me to 99%, but I give up a little bit of crit damage. I gain some accuracy back. I think I'm kind of okay with 98%. As crazy as it is to say. Just gonna take this up to 12 here. Yeah, not great rolls. Better rolls there. All right, let's take this one to 16 and see if this is the magic. Okay. I do lose a bit of speed. What about this? That's too much more crit rate. This is fine. Right? So that takes me to 101% with 221% crit damage. Only losing 18 accuracy total. I haven't even enchanted anything, so I can make up that accuracy, right? And I'm gaining a huge bit of speed here. Yeah, this is good. I'll have to rebuild Seer, but this is really, I think, the best option for Gnut right now. And I'll be able to make up for all the speed loss and everything for him too. So, all right, well, there we go. I did also say that I was going to take him to 60, so let's go ahead and upgrade his level. 75 Bruce is actually not that bad. Big chunk of silver, though. But knock out a quest, get some points. Cool. Now, when is that event over, by the way? When is that champion training tournament over? Is it today? No, I can do some more tomorrow. So I'll knock out a big chunk of that tomorrow. Just leveling up food for Armand's is going to be the next 6-star that I'm going to go with. But we're at 28 minutes, and I want to kind of get started streaming and kind of focusing on that point for everybody. So, sweet. Thank you all so much for watching. I'm going to upload this immediately after I'm done recording it. So if you happen to see it and you want to come join me live, I'll probably be on for another couple hours. So please come hang out. Either way, thank you all for watching. I'll see you in the next video.